to talk about just kind of what I do when we have a new horse come into the barn and into our program and how we kind of evaluate him the first day. This is Misty standing behind. She's about a 15-hand Appaloosa, and we'd say she's anywhere from probably 12 to 15 years old. She's come in on Thursday night, so she's had a few days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today's Monday. So she's had 3 days to kind of chill out. So far, she seemed pretty relaxed, is eating well. And we're just gonna kind of evaluate her. We're gonna get her ready to do our first ride. She'll pull back. I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna check her out. I'm gonna look at her body. I am gonna brush her. But I wanna see, what her withers are like, if her back is sore. I can tell she's in a decent weight. She could use probably about 100 pounds just to kind of fill in a little bit here. I'm looking at her conformation. I am gonna look and see if she's over or back at the knee. Gonna see if she has any splits. We do have a little bit of a ligament. Can feel on the ligament where it's been damaged at one point. I'm gonna pick up her feet. I'm gonna see how responsive she is to it. She has kind of tiny feet if you compare it to her body. But I can tell she's not really back at the knee on this leg. I'm gonna look at her hocks. I'm gonna get her to stand up a little straight. Come on. Okay, that's not where I wanted it, but all right. Come on. Come on. No, I do not advise you standing behind a new horse. There goes the garbage can. I want to see, if she's straight in the hind, or what I would think would be straight. I want to feel the legs. All right, so from that I can just tell that she has had an injury on her right knee. She has an old abscess that's showing in her hoof. Her front feet are pretty tiny compared to her shoulder. When you look at her here, you can see that she's quite long here where the neck attaches to the shoulder. She doesn't have any obvious muscle building that would show us she wasn't capable of doing what we asked her to, or that she had built what we call a bottom muscle here on the neck. Generally they'll go around, they don't have enough training to know to stretch down, so they go around with their head up and they build muscle in here. She does need to get her feet done, but other than that, she's pretty good. Her legs are pretty straight, and I don't find, other than a little bit of a tear on the ligament on the right front, which I would guess is associated to the knee injury at one point. So the next thing I'm going to go and do is actually just brush her now that I've looked her over, and see if we get any reaction from any of the brushing. See if there's any sensitive areas that may be sore that we aren't aware of to date.
No.
you can see, she's not really great at picking up her feet, but that's definitely something we can work on in the lesson string. And we'll just have to set that as a thing we have to do until we can actually get her good at that. She won't become one of the lesson horses. Fit her. I always start with a pad. This one's quite fluffy, so once I sit down on it, it won't be so fluffy. But I look for things that I can fit at least 3 fingers underneath the pommel, that it follows down the side of the horse, that I can't stick my hand underneath here. There's lots of room in the spine, and that I can actually see air or light all the way through on the spine, so it doesn't sit on the spine. All right, so I've got Misty all ready to lunge, and I fitted a bridle except for the noseband. I need to punch a couple holes in the noseband to her, and we're just gonna look at her gaits and see if she's 1, used to lunging, and 2, what her gaits look like. I did take a quick look at her teeth, and I think my 12 was a pretty accurate estimate. I didn't see any big hooks, or they're not looking too bad. She probably could use a quick float, but nothing too major. All right, so I'm gonna go and quickly throw her on the lunge and show you how we do that. You'll notice I've also rolled up my stirrups, hopefully to prevent them from falling down. You can see she's not super worried about the lunge whip, which is good. Oh, we're just gonna see what she does, how she moves. Yeah, and I just gave her a little squat. She is a pretty short-stepped horse. At this stage, that'll be something we have to work on. Getting her to use her shoulders. It's possible that she's not actually capable just because of the distance from the girth to the point of shoulder. Now we're going to ask her for a quick canter, and 1, 2, 3. Good, so a little disunited here, and canter. Okay, doesn't quite have the canter figured out yet. And she does understand the command. She's probably got a bit of energy pent up, because of course when they come in we tend to feed them a bit more than they're used to. Not that by means it's a full grain. Good girl. And enter. Good girl. She'd like to hop her. She'd also like to turn around on me, but she'd like to hop around a little bit with the cat. Good girl. See again, she's Good girl. Yeah, she's feeling pretty good. You know, that snoring tells us, you know, understanding that she doesn't feel nervous or tense about what we're doing. All right, so through that little experiment, we learned that there may be some arthritis in the right front knee where the previous injury was noted, or she may be a touch sore in the fronts. They are not great quality of hoofs. Usually that can be changed with diet and time and chewing. But it is possible that there is, some arthritis. So we're gonna go ahead and get on it and give us a try. We do know that canter is a bit difficult for her, so we may not canter depending on how things are going. And we'll see what buttons she's got.